Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting the like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. I always just imagine your faces when I'm saying this intro over and over again. Just imagine it like, bloody hell, Mark. Anyway, let's crack on with it. Much love, guys. This one's from Maid of Honor Throwaway 1 from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit and says, Am I the arsehole for refusing to attend my best friend's wedding? I, 28 female, am entangled in a wedding drama of epic proportions. My recently engaged best friend, 29 female, asked me to be her maid of honor. And words can't even describe how happy I was. We've been inseparable since kindergarten, and I was ready to make her big day unforgettable. I spent nearly $700 on our bachelorette party, buying cute outfits for everyone and renting a party bus with all-you-can-drink drinks. The other girls pitched in, but I'm the most financially stable, so the majority fell on me. I helped plan the wedding of her dreams, right down to contacting the vendors and setting dates when she was too busy. I made the save the date and invitation cards. What I'm trying to say is that I did a lot for her. And then 2 weeks before the wedding, my best friend asked me to step down and said that her future sister-in-law would be taking the role of maid of honor. I was pissed and we got into a huge argument over this where I admittedly said things I wasn't proud of. Since then, I've received texts from our friends, best friend's family, the groom's family, and even sister-in-law telling me that I'm a drama queen who needs to get over herself and that it isn't about me. This has really gotten to me and I need to know, was I in the wrong? Edit. Thank you to everyone who's been commenting and giving me advice. I'm going to wait a week to let emotions cool and then try to have a sit down with my friend to talk about this. I'll be logging off for now because I'm going to make a huge batch of cookies and watch some TV to relax. Edit 3 days later and says, a small update and to answer some questions. I asked for $200 of the money back because $500 was a repayment from when she paid my rent in college for a month. I hadn't paid her back sooner because she requested I use it for a bachelorette. She's been dating her fiance for 8 years and we were waiting to be more financially stable before getting married. On to the update, I called her this morning and asked her to talk. She agreed and we set up a meeting on Thursday at a local coffee shop. I'm a bit concerned because she sounded really shy and nervous on the phone. Hopefully that goes well and I can do an official update with happy news. Thank you so much for your advice and comments. So we know OP's going to have this meeting and hopefully we're going to get a conclusion to what actually happened, because that's the main question on this. And you know, I'm always hesitant to give any kind of judgment on a story like this when it's so open-ended. We don't know the reason why and we're just left asking why. Why has she done this all of a sudden? Absolutely, we've covered stories in the past where the person turns out just to be a bridezilla and, you know, is happy to destroy a long-term friendship over this. But there's certainly other situations that we've covered in the past where they've been pressured into it. There's something going on in the background. So like I said, I'm hesitant and I'm really hoping that things do work out because this is your best friend and I do wish the best for you. But someone asked about getting the money back and OP said, I tried asking for some of the money back, but she called me money hungry and said I never told her it was conditional. Someone says, have you talked to the sister-in-law? OP says once or twice before this went down. She has been texting and calling me to tell me what a self-centered jerk I am, but I haven't replied. Someone says, did she give you a reason for why she asked you to step down? Said, sister-in-law is an introvert and might never get to be a maid of honor. Have a large friend group and might be a maid of honor at one of their weddings. Someone says, is she close to sister-in-law? OP says she isn't particularly close to sister-in-law and even will complain about her at times. Sister-in-law is the youngest member of the nearby extended family. She is 18. I don't know if that changes things, but my friend felt like sister-in-law was coddled. Someone says, could there be something going on behind the scenes? Absolutely. And OP says, I didn't consider behind the scenes abuse. From what I've seen of the fiance, he's very kind and sweet and treats her right, but I don't know much about the family. I want to talk to my friend once emotions settle a bit. A few people have mentioned the groom's family pressuring her and I think it's likely. I thought it was extremely out of character, but one person said she might be feeling pressure to conform to the family since she wants them to like her. I'm not sure what the actual reason behind her actions are, but hopefully I can sit down with her soon and talk it out. And then there was one more thought from OP who says she paid for the base dress and I was going to pay for alterations. I don't want to expose her online because we've been friends for over 20 years. I don't want to hurt her like that. I'm still hoping we can be friends. It does make me feel better that so many people are on my side, even if it's just on Reddit. I was genuinely starting to feel like I was going crazy. And I always like to think that things can be solved in some way, and I still hope that they do, but it's always worrying, especially in those relevant comments when, you tried asking for some money back and she calls you money hungry. Rather than saying to your best friend of over 20 years, there's a bit more to this story and I need to talk to you about it. But in the comments, Dewdrop Peachy Cheer says, not the arsehole. Girl, you are not the arsehole here. You poured your heart and cash into making your bestie's wedding epic. Then she pulls a switcheroo on you. That's majorly messed up. Of course you're hurt and upset. It's not about being a drama queen. It's about being treated with respect after all you've done. Her family and friends need to see the bigger picture instead of calling you out. Stand your ground, girl, and let them know you are hurt, not just causing drama. You deserve better vibes. The White Ferret says, not the arsehole. Being blindsided like that would be really tough on anyone. And it was really uncool of your friend to do that to you. She clearly knew her future sister-in-law and still asked you to be a maid of honor. To change that up last minute is not only uncool, it's insulting. It would be one thing if you weren't taking your maid of honor role seriously, but that's clearly not the case here. All that being said, I would highly encourage you to talk to your friend. You two have been best friends for over 2 decades and not going to a wedding would likely cause permanent damage to the relationship. I'm not saying you need to go, just that a relationship like that deserves another, much more calm discussion where you two can have a heart-to-heart and express how you both feel in a non-judgmental way. Her sister-in-law becoming the maid of honor at the end sounds like it's likely coming from a future in-law's family, and less from her, so it's possible she's being pressured into it. But obviously I'm lacking more context to be able to fully claim that. Really hope things work out for the better. Good luck. Zealous Ideal Echo says, so the bride used you as her unpaid wedding planner. You're out of pocket money for a bachelorette party. Did you pay for the maid of honor's dress in addition? That since you are being demoted, you won't be allowed to wear, or are you supposed to hand over the dress to sister-in-law also without reimbursement? Respond on social media to her and all her flying monkeys, everything you've listed here, and then go no contact with this person who is clearly not your friend. I'm sorry and quite offended by her treatment of you, not the arsehole. So OP does update the post and says, hi everyone, this is an update to my previous post, which you can find on my profile. First, I just want to thank everyone for how kind and supportive you have all have been, but also how honest. I took everything to heart and everyone's advice was great. Now onto the update. I met my friend at around 9 AM yesterday at a local coffee shop. She looked really bad. Her hair was super greasy and unkempt. She had really bad eye bags. And she seemed totally exhausted. When I asked her what was wrong, she just apologized. I kept prodding and it turns out that her in-laws are real pieces of work. Apparently they've been harassing her for nearly 3 years about having sister-in-law as the maid of honor at the wedding, and when my friend chose me, they went ballistic. My friend said she thought she'd be able to handle it until the wedding day, but then mother-in-law threatened to ruin her wedding unless sister-in-law was the maid of honor. My friend panicked, and that's when she told me I would no longer be maid of honor. She apologized for the money-hungry comment and said that she was just in such an awful place mentally that hearing me mention the money made her really upset. The reason all of our friends were attacking me is because they knew about the mother-in-law situation, as my friend never mentioned it to me because she didn't want me to step down because of mother-in-law, and they thought I also knew the whole story. And as for fiancé, he was completely in the dark. He doesn't have a good relationship with his mother already, and my friend didn't want to be what destroyed that relationship. When my friend told me all this, I felt awful. I didn't know she was enduring 3 years of harassment because of me. I immediately apologized and she apologized and we both cried a lot. When the tears stopped, she pulled out an envelope with $200 and gave it to me. I originally refused, but she insisted, so I took it. I encouraged her to tell her fiancé because keeping this from him wasn't helping anyone, and if he decided to cut off mother-in-law, then that was his decision, not hers. After talking a lot more about future boundaries, our friendship and the wedding, I decided I would go to the wedding and we'd still be friends. I know my friend didn't handle this in the best way, but I've known her for over 2 decades and she's practically my platonic soulmate. That's not something you should throw away because of this. Originally, that was how my update ended. But as I was typing this, I received a text from my friend saying that fiance disinvited his mum and practically half the family, including sister-in-law, because of their treatment of me, of my friend and me. She asked if I'd be willing to be maid of honor again, and I said yes. I just want to give a final thank you to Reddit for helping me through this, and I hope all of you have a nice night. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? How would you deal with it if it was you? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from Am I the Arsehole, with an update as well, titled Am I the Arsehole for refusing to smile at someone who told me I should smile more. Deary me. This interaction took place a couple of months ago, around late July or early August 2023, and it took place in one of those stores where everything is super cheap. Think Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, etc. I, 24 female, had gone with my brother, 21 male, and mother, early 50s female, to grab some cheap snacks. On that day, I was wearing a baseball cap with the name and logo of my grad school on it. After going through the store and grabbing what we wanted, we got in line to check out. The cashier was a man, maybe in his 40s or 50s. Let's call him Bill. When we got to the front of the line, the three of us checked out separately and I went last. My mum and brother stood a couple of feet away to wait for me while Bill was ringing me up. After some small talk, Bill looked up and noticed my hat and said, "Grad school's name, huh?" I nodded and he asked, "You or that guy?" and nodded over towards my brother. I told him that I was the one in grad school, and he goes back to ringing up my items. After a few seconds, he looks back and stares at me. The conversation went as follows. He said, "You know, you're not going to get very far in life if you can't smile at people." I said, "I'm sorry? I hadn't done anything that would have been rude or off-putting, at least not that I'm aware of." Bill, shrugging, said, "Ladies don't get paid the big bucks if they can't be nice. Women have to be nice to be successful." Me, annoyed and deadpan, said, "Not in my experience." And he said, "Oh really? You sure about that?" Which I replied, "Yep, pretty sure." Bill, shaking his head, "Sorry, you're going to have to smile more often if you want to succeed in life, sweetie." And me, cutting him off, "Don't call me sweetie." Annoyance has become frustration at this point. Bill, looking surprised, said, "Hey, now I'm just trying to help you." I said, "I'm good, thanks." And he said, "All I said is that you should smile more often. Come on, smile for me." I said again, "I'm good, thanks. I'll smile when I feel like it." When we got outside, I told my mother and brother what Bill had said. They both laughed at me and said I should have just gone with it. Ever since then, they've continued to bring up the situation with me and with friends and family, saying things like, "Don't tell OP to smile, she'll snap at you." Or "What about this time, OP? Do you feel like smiling now?" I get more and more annoyed every time they bring it up, and every time I tell them to stop, they tell me to lighten up. I've told some of my friends and they agree with me, but my family thinks I'm the arsehole for not just going along with what Bill said. I don't think I was an arsehole for refusing to smile, but I'm wondering if I should have just gone with it. Am I the arsehole? Bill's wrong, your family's wrong, his comments were out of order, absolutely awful. Come on, smile for me. That made me physically cringe. And it always leaves me wondering, like, how many other people does this guy say this other stupid bullshit to? You know, he's confident enough to say it to you. That's proper creep level behavior. But Slow Lime says, in quotes, "Ladies don't get paid the big bucks if they can't be nice. Women have to be nice to be successful." And does a puke emoji and says, "Not the arsehole. Bill has some very outdated ideas. Come on, smile for me is very dance monkey dance, and be pretty, woman, that's your job. You do you, OP. It's probably true that friendly people and people who are perceived to be pretty or handsome by societal norms probably do better in life, but to be honest, it's not his business, and you don't have to perform for him." Beth's mum says, "Not the arsehole. You should have reported the cashier to the manager for his inappropriate comments. Your mother and brother have crossed the line into bullying." Confidence says, "Ooh, mansplaining. An old man trying to tell you, a young woman, how to be successful. Not the arsehole. This man should have held his unasked for, unwarranted, misogynistic advice to his fucking self. You don't need that from anyone." Got Goat says, "Not the arsehole. Not a bit. You are not required by any means to perform for this person or anyone. especially when they call for it. Smiles are great, but they are offered or not. In some businesses, they expect service with a smile, but it's usually something that they say as a way to promote better customer relations. You smiling so that person sees you as the pretty thing he expects is bullshit. His unrequested mentorship isn't warranted either, although he appears to somewhat acknowledge the privilege he has in not having to smile for someone in order to make the big bucks. Sorry and good luck. And one more comment from Proud DD who says, not the arsehole, call his manager or regional manager. This was fucking inappropriate. He should have seen you were not in the mood and his comments were shit. He wasn't helping you, he wanted you to perform for him. He should have dropped it the first time you refused. If your complaint seems to be taken seriously, you might want to take a little trip back to Bob, with a friend this time instead of your relatives, with someone recording it. Hey Bob, you might have been right about this whole smile, cause I'd be pretty a thing. I was worried I was wrong about not smiling for you, and being prettier for you. So I called the regional manager or whomever, and they couldn't really give me an opinion since they haven't seen me personally. But hey, good news, they're going to call you. You can tell them what I look like and how much hotter I'd be for you if I smiled, and get back to me on that, and then give him a vicious victory grin and vamoose. So OP does come back in with her update and says, update for a post I made here a couple of days ago. I know everyone says this on their update post, but wow, I did not expect to get so many responses to my original post. Thank you to everyone who took the time to hear me out and share your opinions and experiences. I know the you should smile more thing for women isn't new, but reading all your comments about your experiences with similar remarks really hammered it home for me. This wasn't okay, and I don't have to put up with these comments from my family. The day after I made the original post, I decided to call my mum and talk to her about the situation. A lot of you said that what she and my brother were doing was essentially bullying. I hadn't thought about it that way, but you're absolutely right. When I told her about how much her comments annoyed and hurt me, she was surprised at first. She told me she had no idea that the comments bothered me that much and that she hadn't thought about how misogynistic they were. She told me that she's received comments like, you should smile more from creepy men for years, and that she just treated it as part of life. The fact that she just dealt with it for years made me kind of sad, and while it doesn't excuse her comments, it does kind of help me understand why she didn't see a problem with them. She apologized to me and told me that she would stop. I'm willing to believe her this time. Also, I'm going home for Thanksgiving next week, and I'm going to see most of the other people who have been making these comments to me. Your comments have given me the courage to stand up for myself, and I plan to put a stop to these comments. If they continue to give me a hard time for it, I'll just send them the link to my original post so they can see that hundreds of people on here are nicer to me than they are. To the people who suggested that I contact the manager, supervisor, or corporate for the store, I wanted to let you know that I did just that. I hadn't thought about it before, and I did that earlier today. As it turns out, Bill was actually let go from his position about a month ago. Apparently I wasn't the only person he made these kind of comments to. Even though I played no part in that decision, it felt like an appropriate conclusion to the situation, and I figured you deserved to know. Thank you so much for all your kind words and your comments and messages. I haven't had the time to respond to all of your comments, but I promise I've read every single one, and they definitely made me smile for a good reason. You've renewed my faith in humanity, and I feel like I just gained a few hundred new friends. I hope you all have an amazing day. And I gotta be honest, I'm not really surprised that this guy was let go. Obviously, I don't know his full behavior. We have one situation here, but like I said previously, if he's confident enough to say this to one person, what else is he saying to other people as well? It just seems like absolute bullshit. It wouldn't surprise me if it's like a go-to line, oh, smile for me or whatever. Why aren't you smiling? Or this kind of thing. And I know it's linked to misogyny in this, but I find the phrase anyway, you should smile more at a random stranger, a real odd thing to say anyway. You never know what someone's going through life. You don't know what's going on at home. You don't know their background situation. Anything could be going on. You know, they could have lost a loved one. They could be going through abuse. They could be depressed. There could be any sorts of things going on in their home life. And someone coming up to you and saying, oh, you should smile more. It's like a slap in the face. Anyway, what do you guys make of this situation? Have you ever gone through something similar before? Has someone ever come up to you and said that you should smile more? How did you feel about it? How did it make you feel? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. You are absolutely incredible. And hopefully, I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.